Chapter 19. Sri Sadguru said, "The most powerful Maya, through the display of myriad worldly pleasures, entices people and brings them into its trap. In this dreadful samsara, people aim at only material pleasures and remain entangled in the bonds of worldly life. Developing a detached attitude is impossible for them. A bhakta with innate piety of heart, wisdom and detachment and freedom from the bonds of illusion and desires is born very rarely on this earth. One should identify such a noble man who is born on this earth as a Vaishnava at the command of Sri Vishnu, and one should surrender at his feet with ardent desire to gain salvation. Such Vaishnavas who are rid of lust and anger are endowed with noble qualities like poise and calm, and have dedicated their entire life to Hari Dhyana, are very rare to find in this world. In Ahmedabad, there was a Brahmana named Lodhiram. He was very intelligent and was quite conversant with the Vedas. He was a Bhakta endowed with noble qualities. Along with his illustrious wife, he was worshipping Lord Krishna with great devotion and dedication with prayers, forgetting issues. Sri Krishna, who Sri Krishna was very much pleased with him and blessed him with a son who was very pious and a bhakta of Sri Vishnu by birth. He was born as a Ayonija. He was not born like a man of like the men of the world, but descended the earth. He had the capacity to rid people of the ills of Kali. His father fondly named him Dadu. The baby grew fast as a crescent moon under the care of the parents. Unlike the other children of the world, Dadu was disinterested in playing with toys. At all the time he was immersed in Krishna Dhyana with closed eyes. Though Lodhiram was a courageous man, he was disturbed to find his child being extraordinary. He was motivated by his parental love for the child and failed to understand the glory of the boy. When the son reached adolescent age, the father arranged for his marriage. When Mahatma Dadu came to know of the decision of the father, with unshakable determination, he left the house and reached the forest. The kind hearted Lodhi Ram became very sad to find his son missing. He searched for him all over the place and finally found him in the forest. That distinguished Brahmana pacified and soothed his son, who had such remarkable self control and determination, and brought him back home with all kindness. As Dadu had clear knowledge of the essence of the moral code of life, he accepted the request of his father. Though a jnani, the man of and a man of dejection, he returned home and entered the life of a householder. He followed the code of dharma assigned to the householder and led a pious life. He was contented with what he happened to get unsought. He was always happy and was bereft of sense cravings. The great Bhagavata Dadu spent his time singing endlessly the glory of Sri Krishna, the embodiment of the divine truth, divine wisdom, and divine bliss. Even though he lived amidst the members of his family, his heart, that longed for Krishna darshan, was not at peace. By nature, that noble man's heart was pure, but the worldly people considered him as one among them. Once that man of wisdom left his house and reached the dreadful forest with a free mind full of earnest desire to have Krishna darshan. Longing to have Krishna darshan, he was worshipping Lord Krishna, chanting the divine name of Krishna repeatedly with single-minded devotion. In the 12th year from that day, Bhagavan Sri Shyamasundara gave darshan to Dadu in the form of an old Brahmana. Dadu saw an omnipotent Sri Krishna. Dadu saw the omniscient Sri Krishna, who is the Lord of all the worlds, as an ordinary Brahmana. He invited him to his ashram and paid him due reverence. Pleased with his puja, Bhagavan Sri Krishna preached him the noble and pious Bhagavata Dharma. Dadu suspected the Brahmana to be Lord Govinda himself, hence he repeatedly and respectedly asked him who he was. Bhagavan Sri Krishna, induced by his mercy, cast off the disguise of the Brahmana suddenly and gave him darshan as Sri Krishna himself. He was lotus eyed. He resembled the rain bearing clouds in his complexion. His smiling countenance was like a bright moon. He was excelling Manmata himself standing as Manmata. Dadu was in spell of divine ecstasy. He fainted and fell at the holy lotus feet of Sri Krishna, his hair standing on the end. Sri Keshava, the benefactor of the Bhaktas, lifted him up and consoled him. Then, as commanded by Sri Krishna, Dadu always wandered all over the earth and established the Bhagavata Dharma everywhere. Dadu, the compassionate destroyer, Dadu, the compassionate, destroyed the evils of the Kali Yuga by establishing the luminous Bhagavata Dharma. He cast off the distinctions of castes and spread Krishna Bhakti. One who reads the life story of the merciful Dadu attains intense devotion to the lotus feet of Sri Damodara. Thus ends chapter 19, entitled Dadu Charitam of Book 7 of Sri Vaishnava Samhita, composed by Shri Krishna Premi Swamigal.